how's it going, folks? This topic has been raised in a while, and I've been thinking about it, and I've been talking to many of my peers, and they're actually really agreed, and the way how I look at it is very deep as well. Now, this topic I'm talking about returning citizens back to Australia, or perhaps return citizens to any of the countries out there. Now, government's allowing those return citizens under one condition: quarantine, hotel, and pay a large amount of money on staying quarantine and whatever it is. All right, which is I don't really agree on returned expats or travelers or those who chosen their careers or established their life or whatsoever to return back to Australia and start to realize Australia is a lot better handling in quarantine pandemic crisis, which we did really really well comparison around the world. But you have to think about this, right? For myself, I believe that those who can't return back to Australia should get vaccinated before going through all these hurdles to have to go through. Okay, let's go through and dig why I do not want them to come to Australia. Okay, first things first is nobody put a gun on their head and each of these citizens to go and to go to abroad where they establish their lives, study abroad, even though other countries are better than Australia, or seeking out adventure, or being a rebel, traveling in hotel period of time where the world is in slightly in a crisis where government urged citizens not to travel. So X1 said, you see, yes, Australia is getting jobs, or I'm only speaking of Australia, just example, hotel, hospitality, flights, cleaners, security guards. It's just so much resources which is coming from a taxpayer's money as well to fund this large body, right? To get this running, right? It's not really that fair, all right? Now we have like coronavirus testings left, right, and center in each suburbans, and once it's get leaked out, which currently what we're going through, then the whole community, the whole citizen, the whole nation, the whole state has to suffer in closing borders. Business has to shut because of the outbreak, because some idiot or someone does not pay attention of the outbreak, or make going through the rules, which is really unfair. When we don't have return international flights or any flights are being board, Australia was doing really well. It's just once we kick in the international flights, the thing's gone down south. Number two, you've established your life over there, and now all of a sudden you want to come back to Australia because life is getting better. Number two is the fact that you don't pay taxes in Australia. You pay taxes when you left, when you will live in Australia, but once you left, you choose to go to another country and pay taxes. And whatever they have a good health system or whatever how it is, that's your choice to go there. Number three is the fact that once you do come to Australia and you do get coronavirus and you have this sort of coronavirus you know uh, cases positive, you're going to cripple the Australian healthcare system by you're like in it's like a different species being quarantined, and now it's just going to hospitals, and just it's just doctors and all the healthcare workers has to put on their life on the line just to rescue you, just to save you, just to be on the heartbeat. I know it's not your fault, and I know it's a ticking time bomb, but you have to be responsible. You're coming from another country that has known for cases. Number five, I will have to say it will cripple the healthcare system in Australia and the taxpayers in the future. Those who has coronavirus copped it will have to, what's that word for it? Well, those who has it, there is signs and there's been stories about there's a long term effects or post coronavirus. It's gonna introduce, what's that word? Create more disability industry, and perhaps even in aged care as well. We're not sure if there's going to sprung up into dementia or stroke, but I will have to say right now, at the beginning stage, there will be a lot more funding towards the disability where there's a lot of breathing problem, fatigue, Then they cannot have independencies as what they used to have. They kind of lost it, but I'm not sure from 2020 to all the way to next 4 5 years or 7 years how is this going to play out. But the research has studied that once you have the severe COVID-19, you will lose 70% of your lung capacity. The most deadliest coronavirus is the mild. You have ongoing symptoms, odd symptoms. You're not what they used to be, and it all varies from each individual person. So that's what here's my list. I hope you guys do understand. And yeah, that's why I said like, it just brings more burden of the country. Me working in the disability sector, those who have, I hear other people's been telling me like, those who overseas, intensive care. Do you know how much the government has to pay out just to keep you alive? It's just ridiculous amount of money. Like we're talking about 300K in a year minimum if it's intensive unit care. Intensive means 24/7 care, breathing. It's just so much going on. But I just give you guys a bit of understanding. That's all.